Okay, 1, 2, 3, up the
Dear graduates, family and guests, dear colleagues from IMD, it is my honor as a representative of the Institute for Management, International Management Development, IMD, in Lausanne, to welcome you all to the graduation of the Executive MBA class of June 2017. IMD is a foundation by Swiss law with the mission to develop global leaders. I am proud to direct this program together with Leif because I believe it is at the core of the very mission to develop global leaders. My name is Stefan Michel. I'm the Dean of the Executive MBA and the Professor of Marketing and Service Management. Family and friends, while today the graduates receive their diplomas for their academic achievements over the last year or years, we all know that this is a team effort. Therefore, I ask the graduates to stand up, turn around, and thank their spouses, partners, kids, parents, and friends for their critical support over the years. Just that you know, dear family and friends, this applause would have gone on for much longer if they were not waiting for their diplomas. When you decided to become part of this journey, we promised you 3 things. You learn more about the world, you learn more about management, and you learn more about yourself. The first time you met many of your classmates was probably during Foundations for Business Leadership, FBL. I'm very grateful for the hard work and engagement of the FBL program directors Leif and Benoit. They are fully committed to align their program with the overall EMBA journey to ensure that your learning journey starts on a very high note. The only problem I have is that FBL is so good, you arrive at the mastery stage with expectations that are impossible to meet. That's why I like having Leif now as a co-director of the EMBA so that he sees how hard it is to follow FBL. Benoit and Leif, please stand up so that we can thank you for your dedication to our EMBA program and for being such good friends and colleagues. First, the first promise was you learn more about the world. We went to Silicon Valley together. You went to China, some to Brazil, Vietnam, or India. Now, if you have a brilliant idea to start your own company or your next company, you know how to create a pitch for venture capitalists and raise the first few millions of dollars thanks to the teaching by Jim Pucrano. Today, I heard several of you mentioning that the Discovery Expeditions were the most important, most memorable part of your learning journey, and the word India came up quite frequently. Dear Jim, dear Anand, please stand up so that we can thank you for insightful Discovery Expeditions. Graduates, you can now make a connection between customer insights, a strategy, the organizational structure, and the financial health in a real-world context under time pressure, especially time pressure. Actually, the first assignment was customer A. We mentioned it this morning, and you realized how long ago this was, but in the same sense, it was almost like yesterday. And Gautam and I wanted to send you all an important message that you will hopefully remember for the rest of your life when customer A was the first assignment. Whatever you do as a leader, the customer always comes first. Gautam, please stand up so that we can thank you for your work to the program. As we have seen and heard in the ranking discussions that we did over Adobe Connect, the ROI of this program of previous alumni is overwhelmingly positive with an average salary increase of 43%. However, I think the true value of this program is when you don't ask this question anymore, because your perspective has changed. What you want is not more money, or not only. This is Switzerland. Come. What you want is a better life. And some of you told me during the journey, but also today, that your perspective has already changed significantly on this journey. And this goes to the third promise. You learned more about yourself. The leadership stream with the assignments, the coaching, and your work in the leadership team help you to become a more reflective leader. In recent discussions, a couple of you told me that the written assignments, the task of writing down what you reflect on, helped you a lot to get a different perspective about yourself. One participant in one of the case teams also commented that the leadership is not about being number one, but about being mindful. Throughout the year, you had the pleasure to learn from one of the most prolific and engaging leadership professors in the world. Ben, would you please stand up so that the guests see you? Who transformed our partner? Thank you. And since this morning, we all know how much Ben enjoys this moment. You may have thought when you entered the program that the important part is to become a better leader, but that's not it. The more important part is that you enjoy leading people because you're good at it. And your colleagues enjoy working for you and with you because you are a reflective leader. When I look in the room today, I see a group of proud, and if I may say so, well-dressed graduates. I saw some pictures from the bunker, and the difference is striking. I checked whether these are the same people, but Sonia said yes. Okay, we started our journey together about a year ago, which now seems like ages ago, and at the same time, it's like yesterday. And sometimes I get asked, how is our class different from other classes? A few things come to mind immediately. From day one, you were a nice class. And I mean it in a positive way. You were gracious, positive, cohesive, supportive of one another. We witnessed a very positive attitude towards the journey, even in difficult situations. And sometimes we built that on purpose, as you know by now. And that I haven't seen in that degree in previous classes. This is also the first time that I received so many gifts like I received today. And I'm very touched. Especially this is the first time I received after I submitted my grades. Your constructive way to give feedback to each other, but also to us, was refreshing and is very much appreciated. Thank you for that. And I'm almost finished, don't worry. Sometimes every time we start it takes 4 hours, but this is not. I'm almost there. What is my hope and motivation as a program director? Clearly, developing global leader is at the core of our mission. But my personal aspiration is that all of you, any single graduate, is a more interested and a more interesting person than before the program. Education is not filling a brain with useful stuff. In my opinion, and I say this as an educator for over 25 years and as a father of 2 teenage kids, education is about helping people to seek for truth and insights, to discover the world and to share knowledge. There are many boring people out there. Don't join them. Be unique, stay interested and interesting. Curiosity is key. Being interesting and interested means that you stay curious. And curious people are not just more successful. To have them around is just more fun. We can celebrate this day together because of the efforts of many people. First, I would like to thank the graduates for choosing IMD. Very smart. For keeping the standards high throughout the year, for helping each other and learning from each other. Then I would like to thank the families and friends of the graduates. You deserve a diploma too, but the president of IMD, I asked him last week, he would not sign it for you. He said only for the graduates. But finally, help me to thank my colleagues here from IMD and from the EMBA team specifically. I list them and then we give them an applause together. Terry Akitt, Sophie Hazi, Mathieu Pinchon, Sonia Klose, Blondine Mallet, Dario Dumitru, Gabriela Grabowska, Ken Fitzhugh, and Anbert Lurth. Thank you, stand up. Thank you very much. A special thank from my side goes to Sonia and Blondine, who not only prepared this graduation, but were constantly concerned about the success of this program. They take an ownership that sometimes when they talk about my class and my cohort and my program, sometimes in a meeting I have to ask them, can I say something that is in respect to your class? And sometimes I get permission to do that. Thank you. A few words of the program tonight. Next, we hear the graduation speech by Paul Krell. I will introduce him in a minute. And then we graduate the June 2017 class. Before we hear the class valedictorian of the class, Tim Knotnerus, with his address to the class, followed by the official group picture. For this, after the speeches, follow Sonia and Blondine. They know where the picture is being taken. Please do not have the first drink on the way out or, do any funny thing. It's very important that we get all graduates out there in a reasonable time so that you can come back and join your family for the cocktail reception. Don't laugh at me, I speak of experience. After this, there will be a cocktail reception and the graduation dinner. With this, I'm honored to introduce to the graduating class, EMBA Alumni 2000, Paul Krell. A few words about Paul. He completed the program for executive development in 1999 and continued into the EMBA that he finished in the year 2000. He appreciated so much that he decided the learning program into the Executive MBA, and he was thrilled when I asked him to come back a couple of years, 17 years after his graduation, to address you as graduates today. Paul is from Germany and was a qualified electrical engineer before getting into sales, by accident, he says. After that, he often finds himself playing a connecting role between sales and R&D department at Guidon, a medical device company. Then he was promoted to a marketing director position, responsible for Europe, and came to IMD to boost his knowledge in managing people and managing finance. The experience was enriching, and in addition to learning in the classroom, the other participants helped him tremendously to learn about people management and even designing his own career. Paul just experienced the most bittersweet moment of his career. He was involved in selling a company, Sequent Medical, which he has helped grow from scratch, and that he considered his baby, as he explained to me, for several $100 million to a Japanese corporation, one of the largest deals ever in the medical device industry related to neurotechnology. One of the most impressive moments when we first met last year was that even we never met before, Paul and I. It was, in the first talk in the cafeteria, as if we share so many common thinking about business and leadership and about the passion of real learning and real impact. Dear graduates, family and guests, please welcome Paul Krell.
Thank you very much. Dear graduates, dear family members, dear faculty, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, thank you very much to Stefan Michel for inviting me to speak at this graduation event. It is obviously an honor for me to be back here at my alma mater and say a few words about the experience I've had here and in the 17 years after. I can't believe it's 17 years, but it obviously is. Stefan invited me to say also a few words about the connection in between the acquisition of Sequent Medical, the company I have worked for in the last 7 years, and my EMBA. So where is a connection? Well, the very first connection that I found when I started thinking about this speech was that I know very well, and congratulations to you, what you have achieved in the last 15 months, 12 months, whatever time frame it was. I know it was a piece of very, very hard work. And building up a startup company to sell it for $380 million is also a piece of very, very hard work. So this is the first connection that I found. I found myself hardly ever being as stressed as during the EMBA with the job, plus the family, plus the EMBA program. And then I found myself again being very stressed in building up this company, especially in the acquisition phase. There's a lot of talk and a lot of writing about work-life balance these days. And I understand that also the view on this is shifting. But let's face it, and at least I can say for myself, this is something that is not easy to find. It's maybe easily said, but it's very, very difficult to find. I always thought that I'd done a reasonably good job in doing this. Well, if you would ask my wife, she would burst into laughter when I say that. She had a very different opinion. So, unfortunately, I do not have a good advice for you. The only thing I can say is try as hard as you can, but it's going to remain difficult. Maybe you find comfort in word that Sigmund Freud said. He said, one day, in retrospect, the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful ones. I have found this to be true. I can certainly say that my 1.5 years at IMD were years of struggle. I struggled hard to get everything under one roof, but I enjoyed this time incredibly. It was pretty much the time of my life. I never forgot it, I will never forget it, and I'm very, very sure for you that you won't forget it either. So Stefan said they promised you 3 things when you came here, and they promised us 3 things 17 years ago as well. You will learn more about the world, you will learn more about management, and you will learn more about yourself. Well, I found all 3 parts to be true. I don't want to focus on you learn more about the world. You know very well what you have seen over the last years. I don't want to focus more on you learn more about management. You know much better than I do. And the academic education here at IMD is certainly second to none. What I would like to focus the minutes I have here on is you learn more about yourself. When I came here, I wouldn't have expected that there was so much to learn about myself, but there was, and I realized, although only in hindsight, that with every little thing I learned, I changed a little bit. And when I sat down there 17 years ago, I was not the same who had arrived here 15 months earlier. And if you look into yourself, you know that you are not the same who have arrived here a year or 2 years ago. Stefan said the ROI is overwhelmingly positive with this 43% of average salary increase. By the way, he's right. It doesn't matter. It's great marketing, but it doesn't matter. It's not important, and honestly, I never calculated it. I don't know how much my salary increase was before, after the MBA. The true ROI comes in factors that are impossible to measure. Very, very different factors than money. I worked for a large medical devices company, Guidant, and I arrived there just after I had graduated from a technical university being an electronics engineer. And I thought that I was incredibly smart because I had studied electronics and I had a good graduation, and I came to this company and I looked at the way that they did business, and within the first 4 weeks I had 1,000 ideas on how this could be done better, and I asked myself why they hadn't these ideas themselves. Actually, I was quite arrogant. I also wanted to move on in my career, and I wanted to move on fast. I remember today, it sounds ridiculous to me, and it probably sounds ridiculous to you, but it was like that. I remember that I was thinking about, okay, if I work this hard, I can be a manager by then, I can be a director by then, I can be a vice president by then, etc., etc. I also moved on within Guidant, but only to a certain point. Because, without realizing it, I actually was not only arrogant, I was a smart ass. And nobody likes smart asses, we know that. But when you're one, sometimes you don't know. I was not a good team player. I lacked EQ, and if you lack EQ, this is fatal. You will come to a certain point, but you will not go beyond this. Because you don't get the best from people. In contrary, you send people to what I would call I don't care mode. And when people in your company, in your team, go to I don't care mode, you're not going anywhere. I remember I was traveling with an experienced sales rep who was doing his job for 25 years selling cardiac pacemakers, fairly complicated electronic devices. And I realized talking to him that he, although doing this for 25 years, hadn't completely understood how these devices work. And I thought, gosh, I'm an electronics engineer. I know how these things work, and he doesn't. How can he sell them? But he sold them. He had a feeling for the business. He had EQ. He just was a great sales rep. And he knew how to handle his customers. And even though I was a sales executive, I did not know. So I went to IMD with the idea, okay, if I learn more about management, I learn more about finance, I learn more about marketing, I can re-accelerate my career. And then I came here, and I was surrounded by people like you. People that were smarter than me, people that were further advanced in their career, and people that had a better knowledge of business than I had. It's true, I learned about marketing, finance, accounting, all the academic stuff, you name it. But way more important, I learned to listen, I learned to be humble, and I learned that every team, as small or as big as it may be, and no matter whom it consists of, is always better than the best single person in the team. Management is about convincing people. It is about earning their trust. And if you're a smart ass, you can't do that. Management is not about being better or smarter. It is about putting the right people at the right place and give them the tools they need to do their job. It's an old saying, you probably heard it 100 times over the last months, but it is so true. A leader is someone whom others follow. And people will not follow you for fear. People will not follow you for pressure. They will not follow you for money, for glory. All this may work for a few weeks, but it's not sustainable. The only reason why people follow you is trust. They follow you because they believe that you will lead them on a successful path. If they don't believe that, it's not going to work out. And they believe in your integrity. They believe that you want to create a win-win situation, a win for you and a win for your team. So give people responsibility, trust them, encourage them, be gentle on their mistakes, and be very generous on praising them. It is so important that you have faith in people, that they're basically good and smart. And then if you give them the tools, they'll do wonderful things with them. They do. So here at IMD, I learned to be a team player, and without this, I would never have come to where I am now. It is incredibly rewarding, and I just had that a few weeks ago when I left my job after the company was acquired. When people come to you and they say, thank you very much. We had a lot of work, but we had a great time. And wherever you go, if you need someone on the team, here's my phone number. This is incredibly rewarding. This is what I call return on investment. The second thing I learned, next to all the academic stuff, there is thousands of academic things I learned, is go for your dreams. Follow them, go for it. Steve Jobs said, and I was very impressed by this, remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. You are already naked. There is no reason not to follow your heart. As Stefan said, I was a marketing director when I came here. I thought I will increase my management skills, and then maybe 6 months after I return, I will finally be a VP, et cetera, et cetera. Well, and then around the time when I was sitting down there, a startup company approached me, and they asked me if I wanted to join them. Compared to the 10,000 people company I came from, they had 9 employees, they had 2 good investors, they had some very interesting ideas. What they didn't have was revenue. To me, this was an applied case study from IMD. Take my learnings and apply them to real life. Real life, real learning was, and maybe still is, the slogan that IMD had, and it's really true. I also realized that I could really move something in this company. I could make a big difference. So I asked some friends about their thoughts about leaving this company and going to this startup. I also asked EMBA friends, but when I asked non-EMBA friends, the answer was unanimous. Are you totally out of your mind? You will be a VP soon. You're 1 year away from your pension claims at Guidant after 10 years. You have no idea of what you can expect from these people. This is immense risk. Don't do that. So I accepted. Not so much because I wanted to leave Guidant. It was a great company. But because IMD gave me the confidence that I could be successful in a very different and very challenging environment. And because I had learned here that it is so much more fun to work at the edge of what you can do than to do a routine job. Everybody forgets that Icarus also flew. Success is of course important, as success is what we all go for. But actually the way they're trying to be successful is the ultimate experience. And even though Icarus obviously did not succeed, it must have been a great experience. And he risked his life. Compared to that, what do we risk? It all is about having fun in what you do, interesting challenges every day, building up something, creating new stuff, do things differently. The chance to make a difference has been the driver for me in this and the next startup company. They had an idea about treating a rare brain vessel disease. Tests had been good, but nobody, of course, knew if it would be possible to get this into the market against the big guys and the established therapies. This was the motivation that carried me through the 6 years there. Every day I was thinking about, we're going to make this happen. I was passionate about it, and passion is the only thing that keeps you doing that on a daily basis. Your salary won't, I promise you. Today, 60% of all patients in Europe are treated with this method, and this gives an inner satisfaction. This is what I call ROI, return on investment. So I did the same thing with another startup. Again, great idea, new therapy, this time 7 people, no revenues, no investors yet, but I also only left a company at that time that had 1,000 people, so it was not as striking. And again, it was so rewarding to build something from scratch. Changing a market, changing the way things are done is a fantastic experience. Patient by patient that we treated with the new therapy was exciting. So we sold it last year to a medical device giant from Japan for $380 million. And everybody congratulates you on the acquisition, especially on the acquisition price. What a return on investment. And believe me, this is not what we were thinking about. It was about standing there, looking back and saying, this is a great success, and we did a small part in making it this big success. This is the reward. And taking a team to this success, be it small, be it big, is what it is all about. So let me wrap up. If I may quote Steve Jobs again, he said, "For the past 33 years, I have looked in the mirror every morning and asked myself, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I'm about to do today? And whenever the answer has been no for too many days in a row, I knew I needed to change something." Well, everybody will feel different about how many days is too many days. But in principle, this is right. And of course, it's also much easier said than done, because almost everything you ever want is on the other side of fear. There are a few people for whom this may be different. For me, it was certainly that way. But a lot of what it takes to overcome this fear, you can take from this school, and you can take from the people that you met here. IMD gave me a healthy self-confidence to travel paths that I would never have dared to travel before. IMD taught me to take risks, to reach for more and not to give up when bumps in the road occur. And the bumps in the road are unavoidable. They will occur. That's also when the management skills kick in again and really help you. IMD made me take my professional life in my hands and encouraged me to do what I really wanted to do. I was no longer dependent with my career moves on what my superiors said. It gave me the courage to follow my heart. So my advice for you is, all of you have great ideas. Otherwise, you wouldn't be sitting here. Ideas are easy. It is the execution of ideas that will separate the sheep from the goats. You are an elite. You have the tools to execute these ideas. So take them and put a deadline on them. Only the moment you put a deadline on your dreams and your ideas is when you turn them into more than just a dream. You don't have to change jobs like I did. Everybody has his own plans. Every plan is different. But look for a field where you can make a striking difference and go for it. And definitely look for something that you can be passionate about every single day. If you sit in your office chair and you look on your watch and think about, okay, when I'm going to finish today, or if you start thinking about how much money you make or whatever, then you're in the wrong job. You're not passionate about it. This is a good sign. Don't think about your career. It will progress automatically. Don't think about your salary. It will progress automatically. Think about making a difference. Think about doing the things you always wanted to do. Be confident. You receive the tools to make it happen right here. And the most important thing for me, be a team player. I really was, ever since I left here. So may your trails be crooked, winding, lonesome, and dangerous. Only then will they lead to the most amazing view. Congratulations, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Paul, for a personal and uplifting graduation address. We now move to an important part of tonight, the delivery of the diploma. And for this, I ask Program Co-Director, Professor Leif Sjoblom, and EMBA Director of Program Delivery, Terry Akitt, on stage to deliver the diplomas to the graduates of June 2017.
My congratulations to the June 2017 EMBA class, and I'd like to call the following graduates on stage. Graduating with honors, Sissy Albert. Mohammed Al-Sakif. Rashid Amirov. Tarek Ayub. Olivier Blanc. Thierry Kairos. Diego de la Calle. Dario Donini. Gaël Douvet. Mohammed El Ansari. Vanda Fontana. Lezibana Fosu. Saida Gomez. Hanem Graziani. Graduating with honors, Thomas Hansen. Please be seated. Graduating with honors and class valedictorian, Tim Knotnerus. Ben Kosteluk. Graduating with honors, Dave Leon. Karina Luzada. Maxim Liadwienski. Mario Majhub. Eugene McYanglin. Jan Masek. Yoshi Nagaiman. Emil Osumba. Marian of Zarzak Fogli. Martin Roberts. Camilo Romano. Graduating with honors, Jörg Roth. Javier Ruiz Iza. Peter Schmidlin. Please be seated. Graduating with honors, Johan Sigsgaard. Braulio Silva. Marco Sinkwitz. Christian Skau. Soren Sorensen. Felix Sorger. Michele Zoris. Graduating with honors, Ricardo Tediosi. Vinay Tiwari. Graduating with honors, Andreu Torregueso Martinez. Mirek Umlauf. Graduating with honors, Wilhelm van Kernest. Alexei Vashkevich. Graduating with honors, Mark Woodfield. Last but not least, Makoto Yabushita. Please be seated. I now have the great honor and privilege to invite the June 2017 class valedictorian, Tim Knotnerus, to stage to address the class and the audience.
Thank you, Mr. Dean, Chief of Staff, for the opportunity to speak here today. I'm sure you will regret. It's an honor to be the representative of this fantastic class at one of the finest business schools in the world, IMD. Although you wonder where that stands for, IMD. So let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, 7 gentlemen from 7 different nationalities were stuck at Zurich airport. They were sitting and waiting, and then the Swiss guy, let's call him Steph. He was wondering what the heck was going on. Don't they have a snow contingency plan? What's Ops doing? What does PAX want to do with us as the customers? So he stood up and he said, guys, we need a strategy. So the others looked at it. What do you mean with a strategy? Well, it's about making choices and linking the resources and capabilities with the external needs. Okay, whatever. So what do you have in mind? He said, why don't we build a hotel just around the corner so that people like ourselves can stay the night when we're stuck? I know a little bit about running a hotel, but what do you guys think? And boy, these guys were opinionized. The Chinese, Finnish, Portuguese, and American. They were firing at staff. It went all the way from customer journeys, functional value. Sorry, I had to do it the other way. Customer, functional value, laughing Buddhas, big eye, premiumizations, balance sheet, P&Ls. What was it again? ROIC, MPV, IRR. What the heck? And we had to link something, right? We had to link structure, processes with people and rewards and strategies. Halo, anchoring. Steph looked up and said, really? I didn't understand a single word of what you guys just said. Can we please make it a little less complex? Yes, we can, the Tunisian said. Forget about customers and finance and organizational design. Just go digital. You put a piano in the hallway and you make sure to play chords instead of keys. And you may even have a chance to disrupt the full industry. And it was only until then that the quietly observing Australian, he said, may I please advise you in just 2 words? Stop it! Just stop it! This is a ridiculous idea. Who is going to build and run a hotel in Zurich? But if you really want to do it and you believe in it, then make sure to make it intimate. People should feel at home. Okay, Steph said, we're going to do it. And he called it Inside Michel's Dorm. Don't ask me why. They regrouped in 5 years from now. They came together and Steph had to speak up. He said, guys, sure, I blew it. I should have listened to you, but instead I decided to do it the hard way. But the good thing is, I've got a new idea. Why don't we build a business school? And we're going to call it IMD. Real world, real learning. We're going to send our students around the world. We send them to Silicon Valley, to China, to India, to Brazil, to Vietnam. We're going to put them in a bunker, let them build tents, and let them visit shopping malls. So the others asked, so, really, Steph? Why do you think this is a good idea? And he said, because I'm passionate about it. We've heard the man say. I want to facilitate students' learning and my own learning. It's not just about academic glory. It's about staying curious. But I need you guys, all of you, all of them. And I need a couple of more people. I need someone that dares to think big. I need someone that is willing and capable to take the lead and make us look professional. And last, but by no means least, we need a number of connectors, and let me list one. And sure, she may break, oh. We need a connector. And sure, she may break some ankles along the way while partying with the students, but that's all fine. Guys, you did a fantastic job. Thank you so much, because the rest is history. Let's move on. Stop it. We're only halfway, I mean. Class, June 2017. Here we are. We all made it. And actually, we loved the journey. We loved every single piece. Okay, maybe not the shopping malls, but the rest, really, we loved it. The program provided us with the tools to run a successful business and a successful business unit. The program made us understand who we are and how to become a better version of ourselves. We've learned to perform, and we perform to learn. And these bloody assignments not just force us to put all the theory into practice, but they also directly provided value to the companies that we work for. But far more important than these tangible outcomes are, of course, the friendships that we build along the way. I've learned from every single person in this class. And because of our persistence and drive and teamwork, we can all proudly be here today. That makes me super proud. Today we had a special announcement of our brilliant leadership professor. And it made me think, and actually I decided last minute to actually going to change my complete speech from now onwards, just as a tribute for Ben. Because in our final leadership assignment, we had to speak about the themes of our identity. And now it may get a little emotional, and I know you are an emotional guy, Ben. But whenever you have an issue, I have a tissue. I know it will make me vulnerable, speaking about my themes, but he told us that is okay. So I'll give it a shot. The three themes that I would like to speak about. The first is separation and belonging. I had to separate from my parents when I went to university in another city. And later on I had to separate from everybody else, luckily only temporarily, when I went to Botswana in Southern Africa. And these events were, of course, super scary at the start. But they also made me into the person that I am today. I found belonging in groups of friends, family, colleagues, and more recently with you guys, this fantastic EMBA cohort. Boy, we really needed each other. And to me, it often felt as a band of brothers trying to beat these Tuesday night deadlines. But that also makes today a very special day, because we know that today we will have to separate again, even though we know that will only be temporarily. we will have to spend time with our families again, with our loved spouses, our parents, and our kids that finally want their mommy and daddy back. And thereafter, we come together and we make fun again. So the second theme that I want to talk about is about doing all the things at the same time. Because I'm striking an uneasy balance between the ambition that I have and that what those closest to me expect from me. This year I've been combining the EMBA program with a full-time job, running and merging my own business and parenting 2 kids under the age of 4. But before I could even start to feel sorry for myself, I discovered that this group of extraordinary people was struggling with the exact same challenges. I noticed Marion bringing in her 3-month-old daughter to the 3-week stint of the FPL. I noticed Andreu moving his family all the way to South America, and see Felix moving from China to the US, just to name a few. But meanwhile, they all kept delivering in this demanding program. We've all made sacrifices, especially our beloved ones, who are indeed the true heroes of today. The third theme I want to talk about is receiving recognition for the things that we do. I believe that so far I've been focusing on the outer journey primarily, not so much the inner journey. Searching for words, because it was last minute adapted. I'm going to skip that for a minute. So let me first try to start to thank a number of people. And I'm going to thank a number of people which are very close to me. But actually it's a thank you for all the parents, all the spouses, all the friends and colleagues which are in the audience today. Thank you, Dad and Mom, that you provided me with the great, warm and safe environment for my childhood. You've allowed me so much freedom that I could develop a form of self-discipline. And so far you've always been my secured base. Thank you so much for that. Eric is my boss, my mentor, and my personal out-of-comfort zone pusher. You've really made this EMBA journey possible. You took me into the company, even though I lacked all the necessary experience, because you believed in me. And over the journey, you allowed me to make the necessary mistakes. And 2 years ago, when we finally managed to get that big deal done, you convinced me to even step up and enjoy this exciting ride. I wish everyone could have a boss like you. Thank you so much. Then, of course, Monique, my lovely wife. Thanks so much for your love, your care, and your support. The many nights and weekends that I was at home, physically, but certainly not mentally. Let alone the many weeks of traveling that come with the job and with the program. There are really no words to describe how much I love you. Thank you so much for your support. And last, but by no means least, thanks to you, of course, my brilliant friends. Special thanks to the case team, the leadership team, the many discovery teams, the simulation team, and all of the other 631 teams and bus groups that we've been working in. Without you, I couldn't have done it, and I'm sure that without each other, no one could have done it. So, congratulations, thank you so much. I want to get back to the theme, because I think I kind of remembered what I wanted to say. It's about receiving the recognition for the things that we do. I've always had the secret wish that people saw me as a high potential, that established great things. Perhaps, perhaps especially in a class like this, where everyone is very successful in the things that he or she is doing, maybe that need was even higher. And just the very fact of standing here today is probably just another confirmation of my ego. But now switching back to the inner journey, perhaps it's time to think what's really important to us. It's not the receiving of recognition. It's about doing the things that we love. It's doing the things that makes our heart sing. And I've discovered that my passion is to help patients. Not just to raise my self-esteem, but to help raise their self-esteem and make their life meaningful again. That's also why I wanted to be a doctor, but I couldn't stand blood. So I had to find something else, and these days I'm developing medicine, and I married a doctor. At AIM Pharma, the biotech company that I work, we develop a therapy for acute kidney injury, which is a disease that kills hundreds of thousands of people every year, because there is no medicine that has ever made it to the market. So developing one is against all odds. But as long as we have a chance, we will fight for it, because we believe in it and we're passionate about it. And that makes me think about the words of Paul, who quoted Steve Jobs. And so in the heat of the moment, I tried to remember what exactly he was saying. So let me give it a shot to wrap up. For the past 33 years, I've looked in the mirror and asked myself the question: if today was the last day of my life, will I want to do what I'm about to do today? And if the answer is no for too many days in a row, I know I've got to change. You've got to find what you love, and that is as true for your work as your lovers. And that is our journey. Follow your heart, follow your passion. Real world, real learning. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. There you go. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tim, for this valedictorian address. I just realized, listening to Paul and you, that when I look in the mirror in the morning, I never ask this question, and I'm not sure what happens if I'm just wondering, why do I shave this face of a man? But this has more to do with the fact that I recently turned 50, I think, than with anything else. So I will start asking that question. Dear graduates, ladies and gentlemen, dear guests here, IMD team, this concludes the official part of the graduation of the EMBA class of June 2017. There is one important, very important step before we can enjoy the cocktails and later the dinner. That is the official group picture, where we want everyone on the picture. And in order to make that happen, please follow Sonia and Blondine to the picture before you go back to your loved ones. Thank you, everyone, for a wonderful graduation ceremony. Let's move to the group picture.